Radio check, radio check.
Reste enclenché.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Copy.
Hello and welcome back to the Hungaroring in Hungary. If you were with us earlier, well, our apologies for the slight technical delay and slight technical issues with race 1. But we have race 2 of the 2019 TCR Europe Series with you It's Mark James in the commentary box, and I was joined earlier on by Jean Calvinet, the 2017 TCR International Series champion. I'm delighted to say that we make it a full set because the 2015 and 2016 champion, Stefano Comini, is alongside me. Stefano, you're very welcome.
Ciao, Mark. Hello, everybody.
This is, a turn up for the books. I mean, normally I see you in a race suit or team gear. You're in a jacket, you're in a shirt. You're looking very, very smart, may I say.
Thank you, Mark. It's better like this or with the suit?
I have to say, the race suit. Why, let's get this out the way with, you should be on the grid. Why aren't you?
Okay. Oh, this year, no, I'm outside of the grid.
Yep.
I'm still in the paddock, and I'm working on something since months, and something that will be communicated in the next weeks. And it's something really very interesting.
Which is why you're wearing a jacket.
Exactly.
Very smart. Okay,
exactly.
Let's turn our attention then. We'll wait with interest to see what you have for us, but we'll turn our attention to TCR Europe Race 2. Race 1, first of all, your thoughts?
Yeah, also Homola did a perfect job with the Hyundai. The Hyundai here, it's very impressive. Also, they have the pace, they have the car, they have the track. Also, I think for race 2, for sure, Homola can recover well. This is, I think, one of the main points for race 2. And we have Urrutia that will start on pole. And I spoke a little bit with WRT team, and they told me that this guy did only one test before to come here. Also, with only one test day and to be here on pole for race 2, it's something great.
Yeah, but he has a slight problem. This guy, it's Dusan Borkovic alongside him on the grid. Now, Dusan hasn't sat in the car all winter. He said to me, it's been months since I've even sat in the car. It's a brand new car, all sorts of issues. Obviously, his teammates were first and second on the grid for race 1. Dusan is slightly down, slightly low-key compared to what he's used to.
Yeah, Big Dusan, it's looking a little bit daddy.
Yes.
But we are looking now, it's quite raining.
Yes.
Also, it will be very, very interesting. Also, I think for Dusan, with a little bit more experience on this kind of car, it can be a good condition.
What do you think of Jessica Beckman? We saw her there. She's one of the Hyundai young drivers. She was quickest in free practice 2 yesterday. She's come from TCR Scandinavia, TCR UK. She and her brother Andreas, really impressive, I thought.
Yeah, really impressive. They worked all the winter to be on the top at the start of this season. They tested really a lot, and I think they have one of the best teams for sure, and one of the best cars. With target competition, you can be sure.
Now, you've driven the Seat, you've driven the Volkswagen, you've driven the Audi, the Subaru, the Honda. I think the Hyundai is about the only one you haven't driven, isn't it?
The Hyundai and the Peugeot. But I drove the Renault too.
Oh, yes, of course. I thought we weren't supposed to talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. The Renault this weekend, it's looking well, not so bad. Also, they are in P12 with Felipe, right?
Yep. And also on your side, your timing screen, Alex Morgan there, P23 on the grid in the Wolf Power car. So 2 Renaults, slightly different liveries. The classic, as I said earlier, the black, white and yellow Renault racing livery. So it's a throwback, you know?
It's very Renault Sport livery.
Very Renault Sport. But anyway, let's run through the grid for you then. We're about a minute away from the green flag lap starting. You saw Santiago Urrutia from Uruguay on pole position earlier. When I saw him at lunchtime, he was very keen to show me the onboard camera from his car for race 1 because it was, I think it was Panciatici who moved across, hit Andreas Beckman, who then hit Urrutia and sent him off and broke the steering, so he really wasn't happy.
So he broke the steering.
Yeah, the steering was broken, which is why he ended up on the outside of turn 2.
because from the TV it wasn't.
It's difficult to see.
It was very difficult to see.
But he was very keen. We were standing in the queue for lunch, and out came the phone, and look at this. So not happy. So there you see on the right of your screen, Urrutia on pole in the Audi. On the left of your screen, Daddy Dusan. So the family are here. There is Borkovic. So that's the first row of the grid. Row 2 is Danny Naj and one of the Beckmans, which is in fact Jessica. Then it's Julien Bruchet and Gilles Magnus on row 3. Row 4 is Josh Files and Nelson Panciatici. Andreas Beckman and Mato Homola, the repeat of the race 1 front row. And then it's Nathan Biel and John Filippi, Maxime Potti, Aurélien Comte, Teddy Claret in the Peugeot, Gianni Morbidelli in the Volkswagen, Jimmy Claret, Luca Filippi in the Hyundai, Stefan Lemaret, Martin Rieber in the Brutal Fish Honda, Oli Kangas in the second of the West Coast Racing Volkswagen, David Kajaya, your old mate.
Yeah,
and Alex
exactly.
Morgan, we mentioned. Vesnic from the TCR Eastern Europe entries, Davidovsky. We didn't mention, actually, in race 1, I don't think, Abdullah Ali Al-Khalifi in the PCR Sport Cupra TCR. Luca Wadou, the young French lady driver in the Peugeot, starts from P27. And then we go back. It's I'm still getting my head around some of these names, unfortunately, so you will have to apologise. Stefan Ventaja in the Peugeot. Wizomirski, TCR Eastern European. Galash. Maribo Koppens, we saw pulled up in race 1. Petr Cicek in the Cupra. Karol Wittke, Cupra again. Rudi Peskovic, and then towards the back of the grid, Maciek Leszkiewicz, Zerko Knago, and then right at the back of the grid, it's Luca Engstler after the bitter disappointment of going off in qualifying yesterday. The team rebuilding the car, but Luca telling me after race 1 that it's not particularly a happy car. He recovered from P37 on the grid to finish 19th, but Luca will be disappointed. He was going to be one of the
It's very
favourites.
difficult here in Hungaroring to recovery. It's very, very difficult. It's no place to overtake. It's very technical track, and yeah. So here we can look. We can watch the race drivers trying to warm up the tires. It's very difficult condition here. With a little bit raining to warm up the rear tires, it's very, very important.
This isn't a favourite track of yours, is it? It's not been kind to you in the past.
No, but I won a lot of time here with the Auto Series, but not in TCR. I had a lot of bad luck here.
So unfinished business for you.
Yeah, but I have a lot of fun here, and today I meet a fan of me, and he came here with some beer or something. It's crazy, crazy people.
Okay. Now, you can see the raindrops falling. You can see that the wipers are on. There is Luca Engstler at the back of the field. How will this mix things up? Because we weren't expecting rain, were we?
It will change the cards for sure. It's looking like no, it's not so much raining. It's not so much raining, but for sure it's not easy to start on the first lap like this. Also, the first corner will be critical.
Yeah, that run down to turn 1, which is the downhill right-hand hairpin. There you get a better idea. That's the camera looking down at turn 14, wow. Which is the hairpin that brings them round onto the start-finish straight. That gives you a better idea. But as you say, that doesn't look too bad. It might just be that the far side of the circuit is...
Yeah, this is
the last or maybe corner. There's a shower that's just passed through. There you go, no surprise. A wet track has been declared. Quite a large crowd here at the Hungaroring, and as I was mentioning in race 1, we're sitting at the top of the grandstand, and you can hear... Possibly you can hear on the TV sound that the air horns are going off, and every time you see anybody like Danny Nagy, the crowd goes absolutely berserk. So cars then just moving into position. And there is a marshal with a green flag that you can't see, just out of position so that the rearmost cars on the grid can see what's happening, and when the lights go out, the green flag will drop so they know that the race has started, so they're not at a disadvantage. So then, Marshall with the green flag has waved. All cars are in position. Race 2 of TCR Europe 2019 is underway. The lights go out and we are racing. Everybody away cleanly this time, unlike the scuffles. No, indeed, at the back of the field there was an incident I just saw at the back. And Dusan already with his nose in front. Danny Nagy, I think, up alongside Urrutia. Urrutia going around the outside. And also Brichet just giving him a little nudge out of the way. Urrutia.
Brichet second place now. Wow. Impressive start from Brichet.
Oh. Maybe just overcooking it slightly in the run down to turn 2 and paying the penalty. Look, dropping back.
It was a Megan on slideways. Oh, on the wall. It was Filippi.
Yes.
On the wall.
That's a shame, considering what we were saying about the Renaults earlier. Now, the safety car had already been called out before that incident, but it's John Filippi in the Renault Megane, the Vukovic car, who's stranded. That's Galash, one of the Eastern European, TCR Eastern Europe entries. That was the incident I saw at the back of the grid. Now, for this first lap, the safety car is stationed down at turn 11. Normally, of course, it's at the end of the pit lane. It'll pick up the leaders, and I would have thought we'll bring them through the pit lane because there is debris on the start-finish straight.
Come to your racing box. It was a first lap.
Yeah, well, to be honest, we talk about the first race being a bit more gentlemanly because you've got to think about the second race.
Yeah, on the second race, you are only thinking to go home with a good result.
Absolutely. Sometimes, though, in race one, does the red mist come down? You think, oh, I'm going to go for this anyway? Or do you think, no, settle for the place?
It depends. If you want to play a championship, you need to be a little bit more careful. If you are on the background, you can risk a little bit more.
As I was saying walking over here, I was talking to Adriana. No, indeed, the safety car will lead the cars down the start-finish straight, so not that much debris to clear away, but that's going to take a lap or two to tidy up. But I bumped into Dusan's wife, Adriana, and I just said, Dusan seems a bit low-key. And she said, well, you have to remember he's not been in the car for several months, but also he's a dad now. And as you say, it does kind of calm you down. And she did say in race one, we didn't see the carnage is probably the wrong word, but we didn't see the incidents that we were expecting to see in race one. Maybe race two, the beginning, first lap, has made up for that.
Yeah, totally agree.
That's the issue then.
It's a front damage. Also, he didn't. I don't know what happened, but it's like somebody didn't start on the grid.
Well, we'll see from the restart. Look at the car going past. There was a Golf just going past with damage. So I did see something at the back of the grid as we got underway, but I couldn't see who it was. So it's Galash, Pesovic. I think it's Pesovic, 332, which would be, no, that's an Audi.
Yes.
So Galash is in the Volkswagen. It might be Laskovic. He was in a Golf GTI as well. But there was definitely a Golf going past with some damage. So the marshals then spring into action. They're already recovering Filippi's Renault. Now that's an interesting view. Is that a job you've ever done, safety car driver?
No, I can't do it. Not possible. I will be not safe.
Can you ask the safety car to slow down, please? Right, we'll pause for a moment and just run you through the field after those two incidents on lap one. Danny Nagy has taken the lead of this second race of TCR Europe.
We
watched the restart.
The replay of the start, so what happened?
So Borkovic did a really good start. Now let's see if we can see. No, indeed, you can't see the incident at the back, although the yellow flags are already waving there. So that's the incident that we were seeing the aftermath. And indeed, we're just getting a timing screen message to say the start is under investigation. So then, the leaderboard, as I was saying, Danny Nagy is leading from our pole sitter, Santiago Urrutia in the Audi. Dusan Borkovic, who had nosed ahead, is third ahead of Julien Brichet in the Peugeot. Gilles Magnus, Audi. Aurélien Comte, Nelson Panciatici in the Hyundai. Then Matteo Homola, race one winner. Then Maxime Potti. Hold on a second. Where's Files?
Oh.
Files is on your timing screen, 31.
Yeah, what happened with
So what
Josh?
happened to Josh Files? The start will be investigated after the race.
We missed what happened.
Both of us missed what happened. So Maxime Potti is just behind Matteo Homola in P9. P10 is Jessica Beckman. Then Teddy Claret in the 11th. Luca Filippi, now the only Filippi still going, in the Hyundai P12. Andreas Beckman, P13. Jimmy Claret is P14. Nathan Biel in 15 in the last of the point-scoring positions. Morbidelli, P16, just outside the points. Martin Rieber, P17. Oli Kangas, 18. Davidovski, 19. Stefan Lemeret in the Gignon Boutson car. which will be run by Tom Coronel from the next round onwards. He's P20, Kajaya P21, Vesnic 22, Alex Morgan 24, Lilu Wadu 25. Luca Engstler's made up 10 places on one lap. So from 37th on the grid, he's now P27. And a driver we hardly mentioned is Ventaja. He's behind in 28. Josh Files, though, P30.
Nagy did really a great job. As of the start, he did really a great start. Dusan was on the front, but he missed a little bit the first corner.
Okay, let's talk about this guy, Urrutia from Uruguay. And I know from looking at some of the social media posts that traditionally Borkovic and Kajaya always get the social media audience going. But Urrutia has really got the South American fans interested in TCR Europe.
This is great for TCR. This is great. TCR need to be communicated, need to do communication everywhere. It's growing up incredible. Look, 37 car in TCR Europe. It's amazing, amazing.
What we need is more characters in the sport. Do you know anybody?
Any
characters? You know, funny, happy people who mess around a bit.
Yeah, in TCR we have a lot of these people.
There's one sitting alongside me at the moment. So if you're just joining us then, it's TCR Europe Race 2. Race 1 winner, Mato Homola. There he is in the Autodisc by Target competition, I'm having to say. Hyundai i30N. 5 cars being run by Target competition. 2 for the Hyundai young drivers, brother and sister Andreas and Jessica Beckman, and then 3 eligible for TCR Benelux, which is Mato Homola, Dusan Borkovic and Josh Files. And even though they're on the entry list as Target competition, it's Autodisc by Target. And because Autodisc are based in Luxembourg,
exactly,
you know them very well.
Yes.
So they're eligible for TCR Benelux. We watch the start once again. And you have to say...
was a... Wow, Boucher was a rocket.
Yeah, I think Jessica Beckman made quite a poor start. If you look, there she is on the second row of the grid. She immediately drops back. As you can see at the top of your screen, we have a safety car because of 2 incidents on the opening lap of this second race of TCR Europe. And if we stick with this shot, you'll see Felipe in a sec. There he is, big sideways, snaps the other way. Very lucky, but stranded on a tyre pack. There he is. And so there will need to be barrier repairs at turn 3 until we can get underway. So we have slightly more of a break. That was Galash, car 324, that we saw very briefly. The GT2 Motorsport car. And the Golf, the victim of that incident on the start line. So that car just being recovered. John Felipe's Renault already on its way back to the pits, but the marshals repairing the barriers as the clock ticks down. Now it is under the race director's discretion that he can stop the clock, but of course we're here with WTCR this weekend, and so the clock remains ticking for the moment. We are looking at Nelson Ponciatici from the M Racing team. Great start to his touring car career. It's all new to him. He was saying that he's having to learn tyre strategy, setting up the car, the new team. But you have to say, really good start to the campaign for him.
He learned it very fast, in the fast way. Also, he came here first race and he showed everybody, I'm here to win. And he did really an impressive job in qualifying and all the weekend. He is improving, I think, every lap, all the time. He don't have a lot of kilometers on this car, and he's really impressive very fast.
But you have to say he's from an endurance championship. He's done LMP2. He's
LMP2, Le Mans Series winner.
4th at Le Mans. So, he knows rear-wheel drive sports cars, front-wheel drive, 350 horsepower, very nervous touring cars, very new. Safety car is coming in this lap. As the clock ticks down, still rain on the lens of that camera. I'm looking to see if any of the windscreen wipers are on the cars.
Nagy restarted very fast, very fast. So he created a great gap
Yeah.
from Urrutia.
I think Urrutia was caught napping there. He didn't expect Nagy to go quite so soon. So the gap then nearly a second. And Nagy really managed that restart well. Urrutia in second place, Borkovic third, fourth is Brichet, fifth is Magnus in the Audi. Aurélien Comte in the Peugeot behind. Then Pontiatisi, that we've just been talking about. Then Hommler, our race 1 winner. Then Potti and Jessica Beckman rounding off the top 10. Magnus taking an interesting line around turn 2. Some of them have their wipers on. I don't think the rain is that heavy.
It's not easy condition like this to start. I don't want to be in Nagy position because he is the first of the group.
Yep.
And it's not easy to know where to brake, where is raining, where it's not raining, where it's wet, where it's dry. So it's not easy condition.
Urrutia made a mistake there, ran wide and now cuts the chicane. Can't claim a position, of course. So Urrutia's mistake allows Borkovic through. So Borkovic from third up to second, and now setting off in pursuit of Dani Nagy. And Urrutia immediately coming under the close attention of Julien Brichet. And this is where he outbrakes himself, has to take to the inside of the chicane.
He gave back now the position.
But I think Brichet is up alongside him, and
yeah.
Brichet has the place. So
we have a drive-through penalty for number 332 as a
that's Pezovic. Yeah, and Pezovic, as you can see, is actually stopped.
Yeah.
So I think that's a drive-through that will go no further, if you know what I mean. Now, as Borkovic starts to pull away, and listen to the cheers, I'm not sure if you're getting that. Nagy has just driven down the start-finish straight, and the crowd cheering him to the rafters as he goes down towards turn 1. Borkovic in second, Brichet around the outside of turn 1. Then it's Urrutia, then the other Audi of Gilles Magnus. As we briefly looked at one of the Beckmans. Brichet around the outside of Borkovic, that's not going to stick.
Brichet's very fast. It's really very
Peugeots are really quick in a straight line, and of course they're coming up to this straight now.
Look. Wow.
And forcing Borkovic to go wide. That's where Filippi went off. The two of them almost touching.
Now it will be interesting. Oh. Brichet in there.
Sideways from Borkovic.
Dusan, big Dusan.
Big cut as well. I'm wondering about track limits there. Will he get a warning? But just carrying too much speed into that corner.
I think this is a great condition for Audi and for Peugeot. We know Hyundai it's very strong in tire degradation, also they have really very less tire degradation. It's for this that Brichet is trying to push as fast as possible to overtake everybody at the start of the race, because he knows that with whoa, Magnus
getting in the way, and a tap there from Julien Brichet. Just taking the pressure off Borkovic slightly. Files is under investigation for passing under a yellow flag. A touch from Brichet.
It's very aggressive now. Huh?
Yeah.
Very, very aggressive. Big Dusan.
And yeah, you've got to say, if you're going to pick on anybody, it's not Borkovic. Magnus also up
sideways.
alongside. There's got to be contact as Magnus leans on the side of Brichet as they go up through turn 13.
Now Brichet inside. So it's the line for Brichet. Whoa, a little tap.
Yeah.
Door to door. This is TCR, no?
Not sure if that was warranted. He was going through anyways. Now in pursuit of Borkovic. Remember what I was saying about the Peugeots being quick down the straights?
Oh, this was Comte, Aurélien Comte.
Yeah, Aurélien
360.
And catches it well.
And
that's
Riba.
Martin Riba. And that's the touch between Brichet and... Well, that's one of the touches, I should say, between Brichet and Borkovic.
Brichet want to go to take Nagy.
And he's also taken the position. Look, Brichet is through while we were looking at those replays. So Brichet has eased past Borkovic.
We have a black and white flag for Brichet.
Oh, look, big
Whoa, whoa,
sideways
whoa, whoa.
moment. Turn 1, Borkovic getting
Yeah.
sideways. That's the moment that allowed Brichet through. So our race leader is Danny Nage. It's Julien Brichet who sets off in pursuit. I think that's Josh Files getting into the mix with the yellow. Indeed it
It's
is.
dangerous now. It's so many cars.
That's turn 4, and there was a yellow flag at turn 4 a couple of laps ago, so maybe the rain is still falling in that part of the circuit.
Both the sideways, need to cut the chicane.
Yellow
It's not
flag.
easy, eh? It's not easy.
Yellow flag at turn 2 now, so conditions not improving. Another big slide from Borkovic. It's at times like this I'd be wondering what's going on the team radio. And also Magnus getting sideways in the Audi.
Brichet is very fast now.
And Brichet filling Danny Nage's mirrors. And a big slide from 307. Laskovic, the Polish driver in TCR Eastern Europe. As Gianni Morbidelli. That's a shame. Scored points in the first race. Won't score in race 2.
Magnus tried to attack. Wow! It was a little bit optimistic, eh?
That was going for a gap that wasn't there, I think. This is a bit of a turn-up for the books, because Dusan is the one that's normally dishing this stuff out. He's the one that's on the receiving end in this race. Now, let's look at this gap, because the gap between first and second is definitely coming down. Brichet is catching Nage, as Borkovic is up alongside Gilles Magnus. So it's Nage then, just under 9/10 of a second clear of Julien Brichet, first and second. Borkovic is now third, further 8/10 behind. Gilles Magnus P4.
Filippi out.
What was I saying about the other Filippi? And Magnus is past Borkovic, so P3 has changed hands. And we were saying beforehand, because of what happened in race 1, you had to think that a second target competition victory was on the cards today after Hommler in race 1. Yeah, that car's getting sideways everywhere. That's Laskovic again.
We have Feist, that it's very fast too.
Yep, quickest lap of the race so far.
Engsler.
Okay, turn 1 has gone green. So whatever the issue was there has been cleared. There's Teddy Claret.
Over to
all over the back of Potty's car and alongside.
And now it's the battle for the first position.
Absolutely. Let's get back to the battle for the lead. And Brichet, excuse me, has closed right up on Danny Nage. The local fans won't like this at all. As Brichet, he just drove round the outside of him. Danny Nage just didn't see that coming. Julien Brichet takes the lead of this second race of TCR Europe 2019. And Danny Nage, who was hoping for another race win here, finished second here last year in a Mira 1-2. It was Mora that won race 2, I'm sure you remember.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But Brichet already pulling away. Magnus all over the back of Nage's car.
The Hyundai are a little bit in difficulty now, eh?
And Rieber, that's the replay that we're seeing. Martin Rieber, the Brutal Fish Honda. Gilles Magnus weaving from side to side behind Danny Nage. Borkovic now playing the waiting game after having and again sideways.
Now it's raining well.
Yeah, you can
now
see.
It's raining well.
So Magnus, just going around the outside of Danny Nage, but holds the line and will have the line for the right-hander.
It's inside now, and
Yep.
he did it.
Wow, so Danny Nage from first to third in what, half a lap?
Brichet sideways all the time.
Yeah. Now, Josh Files, we were talking about earlier, having dropped back. Files has recovered to 12th. Luca Engstler has recovered to 13th. Andreas Beckman and Jessica, 14th and 15th, so they're going backwards, whereas Josh Files and Luca Engstler going the other way. Now, you wonder how much the tyre situation has had to play in this. Who's gone for what? Were they gambling on the weather, and some have played the game better than others? That would seem to be the logical conclusion.
I think the setup choice of the teams before the race, it's one of the key of this race. And for sure, if you look the Nagy car, it's very slippery on the rear. Also it's like really a dry setup.
And same for Borkovic is sideways everywhere.
Exactly. In this kind of condition, for sure, it's not helpful. And if you look, the Audi, it's one of the most consistent car in this condition, for sure.
TC looking at the back of Borkovic's car. A little love tap there as they go through turn 13. So, by my reckoning, 2 more laps remaining. Yellow flag at turn 12, so what's happened there?
Whoa!
That
Morgan.
could be it then. That's the other Renault, and that's a shame. Alex Morgan having made contact with... that's Al-Khelaifi, the Qatari driver in the PCR sister car to David Kajaya.
Lemery is trying to...
Diving down the middle.
Yeah.
That's a brave line.
He's doing it. Well done.
We're seeing all sorts of weird and wonderful lines through turn 2.
Whoa, Claret.
Yep. It's one of the Claret brothers. Teddy, I think, in the red Peugeot.
Yeah.
Jimmy in the blue one.
Whoa.
Now that's the exit of turn 4. Files up to P11 now. Lemeray up to 10, thanks to that brave move.
The Hyundai are really oversteering cars in this kind of condition.
Such a difference. Such a difference. Julien Brichet now has a 1.2 second lead, just under.
Axler, it's P13 now.
P13 after starting from the back of the grid. So Luca Engstler in the points. But will be frustrated. That's the second of the M Racing, and that is
what happened?
Jimmy Claret. Oh, broken steering. Oh no, that's why.
Wow. Again, like race 1, no?
Look at that damage on the back of that. That's...
Whoa.
That's a
handful.
handful.
It's better to stop the car now.
Yeah. So that's the second of the M Racing Hyundais. So the clock has hit 0. The race leader, Julien Brichet, has crossed the finish line, and so we are on our last lap. Oh, that was a thump. That was Teddy, I think, in the Peugeot, just giving some back.
Poti with the Golf outside. What he can do.
And that's Potty now scrapping with Files. Files, I think, has got past him, so Files is now up to 8th. And there's also an investigation, cars 25 and 112. 112 is Jimmy Claret, 25 is Nathan Biel, excuse me. So then, let's just pause briefly. Julien Brichet's lead has stretched to 2 seconds, just over, excuse me. Then Danny Nagy, Dusan Borkovic, Nelson Panciatici. Then our pole sitter Santiago Urrutia. Stefan Lemeray, we saw earlier. Maxime Potty has dropped back, so Lemeray up to 7th. Files is now 9th. David Kajaya, we've hardly mentioned. He's up to P10 in the PCR Sport Cupra. Then Teddy Claret in the 111 Peugeot. Luca Engstler up to P12. Matto Hommela dropping to 13. And then Andreas and Jessica Beckman 14th, 15th. Those are our point-scoring places. So a lot more of the kind of incidents that we're expecting, or we were expecting before this weekend. But
it's a great show. It's a great show.
It is a good show. It is entertainment, but as
we have a car stopped everywhere on the track.
We have a car blocking a camera. Alex Morgan will be bitterly disappointed as Julien Brichet comes around the penultimate corner. He received a drive-through penalty here last year for contact with Files, I think.
Yeah, it's possible with Tashi.
Was it Tashi? I know Files was embroiled in one, but it won't matter because Julien Brichet comes round the final turn to take the checkered flag.
Impressive.
And so
Right.
become our second winner of 2019. One victory for Hyundai and one victory now for Peugeot. Gilles Magnus finishes in second place in the Audi. Danny Nagy salvages third place for Hyundai. Borkovic fourth. Ponsiatisi in fifth. Urrutia in sixth. Lemeray seventh. Josh Files eighth. Maxime Potti ninth. David Kajaya 10th. Matteo Homola 11th. Luca Engstler 12th. Teddy Claret 13th. 14th is Andreas Beckman and 15th is Jessica Beckman. Outside the points, Ollie Kangas, Milovan Vesnic, Vantaja, Ali Al-Khalifa, which we mentioned earlier, embroiled in one of those incidents. And Vesnic, it would appear, would have won the TCR Eastern European class. But Julien Brichet, one of three cars entered by his own team, JSB Competition. And it's Julien Brichet, the young French lady driver, Lilou Wadou, and the slightly older French lady, Marie Beaucoppens, in the Cupra run by JSB. But the boss has done what he needed to do. Julien Brichet, there he is, the number 24 Peugeot 308.
Really an impressive drive. It was really a difficult race for them.
The condition,
it's,
yeah, absolutely.
It's one of the worst conditions that you can have in motorsport racing.
We've just come through, the cars have just come through turn 4, which was one of the places I think that caught everybody out because they were coming through and running wide, and that was one of the first places. Borkovic was one of the first cars to come through there and get it all wrong and have to run wide.
The fast left, you mean?
The fast left, yeah.
Yeah, it's very difficult there because you need to cut the curb, and for sure in this kind of condition with the wet, it's not easy to do.
But also you have to weigh it up because turn 4 is where the judges of fact are watching for the track limits infringements that caught so many people out and have been catching people out this weekend. So you need to be cutting, but not too much.
Yeah, but I think for a race shoot, the race stewards are a little bit more gentle because somebody was cutting always. And yeah, but it's a really difficult condition, and it's not easy for the race driver to stay on the track.
Disappointment then for the two Renaults. We talked about them earlier. So John Philippi out on lap 1, Alex Morgan in the Wolf Power racing car.
It's a lot of work now for Vukovic to repair the 2 car for the next race for sure.
To be fair though, Alex Morgan's dad Philip was telling me that they only took delivery of the car on Tuesday. It's the car that Alex drove last year in UK and Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's had all the upgrades, so Alex hadn't driven it until Friday. So steep learning curve. Intercooler pipe came off, all sorts of things. It's one of those things at this time of the year that you're going to find those little niggles that when you've had time to fix them a little bit later on in the year, they aren't the issue, are they?
Yeah. But they prove the car, it's quite ready, yeah?
Here's confirmation of the result then. Julien Brichet wins from Gilles Magnus. Danny Nagy third, Dusan Borkovic fourth. Nelson Ponsiatisi in fifth. It's Santiago Urrutia in sixth. Stefan Lemeray 7th, Josh Files 8th, Maxime Potti 9th, David Kajaya 10th, and then Homola, Engstler, Claret, Beckman and Beckman. Beckman A and Beckman J, 14th and 15th. And points, as we were saying earlier in the day, down to 15th place this year. The qualifying points stay as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for the top 5. But last year it was points for top 10. This year, with such large grids, we're awarding points down to 15th place.
And here it's the man, Julien.
Big smiles.
Bravo. They deserve it.
That's interesting, you know, because we were saying earlier that the two largest numbers of cars are the Hyundai with 10 and the Peugeot with 6, and 1 win apiece.
Yeah.
What can the others do?
This is Come To You Racing with the RACB national team.
Now, you see, they're also supporting their young drivers, the Belgians.
Exactly.
Always put sort of money and effort into supporting their young drivers and bringing them through.
They are trying to grow them up, as it's good to have a federation like this in motorsport.
So what you need is some kind of academy, really, to take them through.
Exactly. It will come.
Okay. He says with a knowing smile. Brilliant. So, entertainment, we were expecting a slightly more incident-packed race in race 2. That's exactly what we got. Danny Nagy will be disappointed, Dusan Borkovic will be disappointed, but Julien Brichet and Gilles Magnus much, much happier.
Brichet finished the race 1 on 3rd position, right? Yes.
3rd position.
3rd
yes.
or 4th?
4th, because it was an all Hyundai 1, 2, 3.
But before I was speaking with him, and he told to me he had some mistake after the race, and I don't know if he's still P4 in race 1. We need to check it.
Ah, was this the underweight thing we were talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That may or may not be an issue, but we will head down to the pit lane. I know Fabio Ravioli is waiting down there to chat to that gentleman, the winner of race 2 here at the Hungaroring. It's Julien Brichet.
Julien Brichet, fantastic victory for you and Peugeot here at the Hungaroring. It was a great race.
Oui, I'm sorry, I'm not speaking English. Je suis vraiment content là pour Peugeot. Là, c'est une victoire franchement exceptionnelle, des conditions assez particulières. Voilà, sur la deuxième course, on a montré qu'on dominait un peu le sujet. La première course, voilà, j'ai fait une petite erreur de stratégie avec ma gestion de frein. Voilà, donc non, c'est un bon début de championnat pour nous. Je suis très content et on va continuer à se battre pour les victoires.
Congratulations.
Okay, Mr. Camini, you speak French.
Yes.
What did he say?
He told about strategy on the first race. He something got wrong with braking issues, something like this. And but now he's really very happy, and he was speaking about all the season, hoping that all the season will be like this.
Yeah, great start to the year.
Yeah.
Now that's very good. So a win for Hyundai in race 1, a win for Peugeot in race 2, and the Cupra, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Honda, Audi. That's a much fairer representation, I think. The weather
This year it's impressive. The BOP it's impressive because it's really well done. So we have like in WTCR we have I don't know 10 cars in 6/10, something like this. It's crazy.
Do you know how nice it is to hear a driver say that rather than, oh, the BOP is this or it's...
Yeah, you know why, Mark? Because I'm outside of the car now. If I will be in the car now, I will say, oh, BOP, it's not right. BOP, I want other BOP.
Okay.
It's normal. We are race driver.
Okay, then let's have a few moments to just look back at race 2 here at the Hungaroring and some of the memories. And that incident, 2 incidents in race 1. There is John Filippi getting it all wrong and the car being recovered. The brief safety car period, Danny Nagy heading off, but it wasn't to be. Incidents. We didn't really see what happened to Gianni Morbidelli. We just saw him in the pits, but that was briefly what happened. Oh, Justine, oh, and Andriana not happy. But the smile says it all. Julien Brichet first, Gilles Magnus second, Danny Nagy third. So a Hungarian driver, and you can hear the cheers as Danny Nagy makes his way out onto the podium for 3rd place. Second place, the young Belgian driver, Gilles Magnus. But it is Julien Brichet who will stand on the top step of the podium as in a moment we will get the French national anthem.
Most pedig a győztes versenyző tiszteletére hallgassuk meg a francia himnusz.
Marseillaise congratulating Julien Brichet. Interestingly, just looking at some of the stats, Brichet, 38, is almost the same age as the combined ages of second and third, because Danny Nage is 21 and Jules Magnus is nearly 20. So yeah, that's, yeah, exactly.
And we have Brichet with 38.
Yes, exactly. We've not really talked about the ages, the spread of ages, because you've got Gianni Morbidelli at the oldest, sorry, most mature, most experienced. He won't like that. He's 51, car 45. The car in front of him on the entry list, car 44, Lilo Wadu, is just 18. So we have a couple of teenagers and a couple of more mature drivers.
This is touring car racing.
Absolutely, and still enjoying. Congratulations to Gilles Magnus for second place. That sounds quite a popular result, doesn't it? The fans are very happy with third for Danny Nage. Gets his championship campaign off to a good start.
Here in Hungary, the people are crazy for motorsport.
They love motorsport, don't they?
They love touring car racing.
Yves Baclaine presenting the Benelux Award to Julien Brichet as well. So 2 prizes for him and 1 for his team. So that the hand luggage will be heavy going home from Budapest airport tonight or tomorrow morning, whenever it is. There's the photo that'll be on the website in a matter of half an hour or so. So Champagne then rounds off race 2 from the Hungaroring. Stefano, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'll see you hopefully later in the year and we'll find out more about what you're up to, but thank you for your input in race 2.
Thank you too. Goodbye, guys.
Thank you for watching. We hope you've enjoyed the action that we've had for you today from both races here at the Hungaroring. The 2019 TCR Europe season is very much underway. 7 rounds take us through the year, but next it's Hockenheim in Germany on the weekend of the 25th and 26th of May. From Hungary, a very goodbye.